Now, moving on, another situation which Trump has been getting a lot of flack from the right. So Trump is not getting a lot of flack from the right. Him and Marjorie Taylor Greene have a feud. Now, this feud is based upon the Epstein files, but later on in the show, you may see that some of the feuding is also personal. But in terms of the Epstein files, people like Thomas Massie, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene on the right, as well as many people on the left, they're saying we need to release the Epstein files so we can find out what politicians, etc., may have been involved in abusing minors in conjunction with Jeffrey Epstein. Trump said he would do so, but hasn't released the files as of yet. Of course, the Democrats see it as a political win, but Republicans, too, are saying that because of the serious nature of the crimes and allegations, both sides have agreed that they believe that we need to get the information out about the files. So I will play what Marjorie said.
Begin with the release of the Epstein files, the vote to release those files. You are on the side of releasing them, and you're on that side despite President Trump saying that only a very bad or stupid Republican would be standing where you are. Why is this so important to you?
It's for the victims. These women have been waiting, some of them for decades. I talked to several victims that were raped by Jeffrey Epstein back in the 90s. And so this is information that has needed to come out for a very long time. And the American people have demanded it. And so the American people deserve to see transparency from their government. Rich, powerful people should not be protected. That is completely wrong. And it's a message to victims everywhere, victims of rape, human trafficking, and children who are trapped in terrible situations, that the government will not protect the predators, that we will work hard to protect the victims.
And most Americans, as well as politicians, as I've said, guys, are standing with Marjorie on this issue. We need the files out. She says she's specifically spoken to some of the victims, and that's why she's taking such a strong stance against Trump. It's odd because Trump ran on releasing the files, but now he's calling people like Marjorie stupid for trying to get them out, and he's saying that it's a Democratic hoax because what he thinks is, and it is big news, is since his name was in some of the files that were released, and people are tying him and Clinton to Jeffrey Epstein, which people already knew they were friends, but because they're tying him with Jeffrey Epstein, Trump is just seeing it from the standpoint, oh, what are they going to find out about me? But it's way larger than that. And actually information has been coming out that victims have been saying that Trump, the victims themselves, have been saying that Trump didn't do anything wrong, and multiple times Trump tried to help. So he's mentioned about how he found out what Epstein was doing, and I said, well, is this in relation to him finding out Epstein was trying to take his workers? But it's coming out now that the victims themselves are saying there have been a few times when Epstein was trying to do things, and Trump, not in the act, tried to help them, but Trump tried to help those girls get out of working for and being around Jeffrey Epstein. So in both situations, I can't say whether Trump knew that the girls were minors or whether he knew exactly what was happening to them. But these girls have gone on record stating that Trump was kind to them in their interactions with Trump, and that he was more so trying to get the women out of whatever situation he knew of. I don't want to speculate on what he knew. So it's somewhat ironic now finding out that if the victims are speaking positive about Trump, you would think he would want the information to come out. But as of now, for whatever reasons, he's against this. There will be a vote coming up at some point, because by this being a situation where both sides agree, the Democrats have filed the petitions and the necessary procedures to get a vote on the floor. And Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene have been start getting the votes together for the House. So they believe they have enough votes on both sides to get this passed, to get the files released. And once the House votes, it's going to go to the Senate. Now, one of the questions with the Senate is they're not sure. The Republicans haven't counted the votes with the senators, so they're not 100% sure that the Republicans will go against Trump. But what the House believes is that if enough Republicans put pressure on them, the senators would take it as a message from the people saying, okay, the people on the ground in our state are saying they want these files out. And because of this, they believe they'll have bipartisan support to get these files released. Potentially sometime this week. We'll keep you guys updated on the release of the files, as well as the procedural aspects, to see if and when it gets to the floor. But I wanted to show also the responses from Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene in terms of the actual feud. So besides what I already played, there were some more instances where Marjorie Taylor Greene put out some text about what Trump was saying, and Trump continued on his technology and social media platform to take more digs at Marjorie.
On Trump's bad side. She has been one of the most vocal Republicans calling for the full release of the Justice Department's investigative files on Jeffrey Epstein. And now President Trump tonight is unendorsing. He is withdrawing his endorsement of Marjorie Taylor Greene and writing on Truth Social that all I see wacky Marjorie do is complain, complain, complain. And then he added that I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. There was a lot there. So you can go, and then talk about a lot. Then MTG fired back with screenshots of text messages that she claims that Trump is lying and that she did not call him, also saying that it is astonishing, really, how hard he is fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out. She argued that she has been one of Trump's strongest supporters, but that she doesn't, quote, worship or serve Donald Trump. On top of
Now, this is speaking about the feud, so it's a very nasty feud, as this reporter said, between two people who were considered colleagues, friends, not just cordial. She was one of Trump's biggest supporters in his reelection, etc. So because of the magnitude of this situation, they're at odds, and Trump stated on social that she was lying, but she came with the receipts, and she's saying, no, I have text messages showing that what you're saying about me is not true. Now, this is important outside of just the context of the feud, because it's showing that Trump, who was already widely popular with Republicans, but then won re-election, not just with the Electoral College, but he won the popular vote against Kamala Harris. He was getting young voters. He was getting more blacks. He was getting Hispanics. I believe he got half of the Hispanics, which is high for Hispanics. And he got like maybe 25% of the black vote. So that's high for black people voting for Republicans for like historical reasons. So Trump was doing well. Now, I'm not saying that people don't still like Trump, and not saying that he's not polling decent with the American population, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is kind of exposing and bringing to light a rift that Trump is having. We know about it with the Groypers, and that's America First. But then Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I wouldn't consider a Groyper, right? She's more in politics, not so much the cultural aspect. She's also against Trump. So Trump is having a pinned against him, at least on this topic. So Trump, at the current moment, is fighting a lot of fires. The Democrats are coming at him, as well as some of the Republicans. So this kind of infighting is going to make it hard for Republicans during the midterm elections to keep the House, to keep the Senate. But then also later on in 3 years, they may also have trouble with the presidency, because who's going to be the face of the party and what direction is the party going to be going is currently having a civil war. And this fraction, the Republicans having different factions and being split apart, it may cause them to not be able to raise as much money as they need, but it also may cause the voters to not be sure that they all want to be aligned with the Republican Party. So this, outside of the feud, is also going to have political ramifications in the future if the Republicans aren't able to unify and stick to one message for their constituency as well as the American people. If you like this video, please smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. New shows airing Monday through Thursday.